It's a beautiful morning. It's November 3rd, 2020, Election Day here in the United States. Big day, lots of uncertainty and stress and anxiety. So the best way to deal with that is to go on a run. We're gonna go on a little family run. Take you all with us. Let's go. What's going on, team? Hope you're all having a great day. It has been a weird and wild week here in the United States of America. As you probably know, the election happened on Tuesday, and as of the filming of this video, the results are still unknown. But I wanted to take a second to pop in here and share some stuff that's been on my mind that I've wanted to talk about for quite a while, and I just haven't made a video about it. Now, obviously the election takes supremacy over this video and pretty much any other content online right now. I think it's probably the most important election in the history of the United States. But with that in mind, I wanted to address something. The video that I made 2 weeks ago was very well received. It also got a lot of new eyeballs. And one of the comments that kept popping up was a question asking whether or not the decision to move to New Zealand was politically motivated. Well, let me just answer that question and lay it to rest. Our move is not politically motivated. This is something that Carrie and I have been talking about doing for years. As you may know from the previous video, I am a dual citizen of the United States and New Zealand. My dad is from New Zealand, and I studied abroad there and lived down there in 2009. It's just something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to come back to New Zealand and live a chapter of my life. And we were actually meant to be in New Zealand on March 10th of 2020. We had tickets booked. We were gonna go down there, road trip around the country, and kind of check out some of the places that were on our potential to live list. You know, New Zealand is a beautiful country. It's a small country. It only has about 5 million people, but territorially it's about the same size as California. And comparatively, California has, I think, like 40 million people. So it's obviously going to be a change, but it's one that we've wanted for quite a while. What about you? Huh? So if you've been following me or you follow my fiance Carrie, then you know that this last year, actually these last 2 years, we've been really getting into growing more of our own food and trying to have a deeper connection with the natural world. And you know, that's something that's been at the forefront of the shaping of our lives and our future. And this move to New Zealand falls directly in line with that. Now, for those of you who follow me on my other channel, Vagabrothers, then you know that I have dedicated my life to the discovery and understanding of different cultures around the world. In university, I got a dual degree in cultural anthropology and in history. And over the last decade of my life, I've had the immense honor to be able to travel the world and explore different cultures and share those stories with all of you out there. And before I was a filmmaker, I actually lived in New Zealand and 3 years in Spain working as an English teacher. And I truly believe there's something immensely powerful and deeply profound about switching up your environments, changing the scenery, and diving headfirst into a new culture in a new country. It's through these immersive experiences or chapters in our lives that we begin to understand how interconnected and similar life is across the planet. The smiles, the laughter, the love, and the struggles that we all share in different places at different times throughout our lives. We are all in this together. We all share aspirations for better lives for our friends and our families and ourselves. And we all need to come together as a global community to reject tribalism and hatred and value the cultural diversity of our planet. It's our generation, the young people of the planet, who believe in equality and justice for all, and that love beats hate. We are the ones who will write the future of planet Earth. I'm reading this book. It's called The War of Art, Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles. And there was a chapter that I read last night that had a really powerful, poignant example of, how we can achieve the things that we are afraid of. And moving across the planet during a global pandemic with all of this uncertainty, obviously there is an element of fear involved. But let me read you this little section. In this book, The War of Art, the author, Steven Pressfield, talks a lot about resistance. And in his opinion, resistance is the manifestation of all of the emotions that keep us from doing the things that we want to do, or creating the things that we'd like to create, or changing our lives in a meaningful way. And a lot of it comes down to fear. Listen to this little section. Are you paralyzed with fear? That's a good sign. Fear is good. Like self-doubt, fear is an indicator. Fear tells us what we have to do. Remember our rule of thumb. The more scared we are of a work or calling, the more sure we can be that we have to do it. Resistance is experienced as fear. The degree of fear equates to the strength of resistance. Therefore, the more fear we feel about a specific enterprise, the more certain we can be that the enterprise is important to us and to the growth of our soul. That's why we feel so much resistance. So if you're paralyzed with fear, it's a good sign. It shows you what you have to do. I think that many of us around the world right now are feeling fear. But we should take solace in the fact that that fear means that we need to follow that path. We need to challenge ourselves. We have to face our fears in order to build a better world and build the kind of reality that we so desperately desire. So I think in regards to all the stuff that's happening, I just wanted to reiterate that we have been planning to make this move for quite some time, and it's just seemed like never a better moment to make the move to New Zealand. I also want to just reiterate that this is not like a forever move. We don't really know. Life is something that kind of plays out page by page and chapter by chapter. And so we are doing exactly that. We're gonna let this play out, and we're not gonna put any caps on it. We're not gonna confine it at all. We're just gonna go with the flow and see where it takes us. And we're gonna continue to create and share experiences and stories from this journey. And I feel immensely blessed and grateful to have so many of you being so supportive about it all. So as you can see, the house is a disaster. All week, Carrie and I have been working together to kind of get the ball rolling on getting packed. We are gonna be sending a shipping container down to New Zealand with some of our essential stuff, like this really nice dining room table that we bought. The reality of all this is it's time consuming work, and it's just kind of one of those things that you just have to start the process, and then it all starts to fall into place. But we are also going to be trying to downsize, kind of looking at this as an opportunity to embrace minimalism a bit more. I think that inevitably in this modern life, wherever we end up, we start to accumulate things. And after a while, those things really start to add up. Carrie and I are doing our best to work our way through all of the things that we have to take care of before we leave in January. There are a lot of steps to move across the world, especially during this pandemic. We are bringing our dog, Lanka. For those of you wondering, Lanka will be staying with my parents down in San Diego, and they're gonna make sure that he gets his flight and that he is all safe and sound for his trip to New Zealand. I've gotten a lot of comments. People are worried that we're not aware of all of the things that need to be done before he can successfully come with us. We're handling that. We've hired a company which is going to help us with all the paperwork and all the legal aspects. So don't worry, Lanka will be joining us. But you know, the future is kind of unwritten, and there is an element of excitement in that. And I think that both Carrie and I are really amped to get down to New Zealand and to scope things out and try to find a place where we can put down roots for a couple of years and use it as an opportunity to better explore my second home, but also to kind of explore that whole region of the Pacific, the South Pacific down there. You know, there's all the islands, there's Australia and South Asia quite close. So not to mention the incredible diversity of New Zealand itself, which will be, you know, first and foremost on our to-do list when we get down there. So I just wanted to take a second here to thank you again for following me on this YouTube channel and also on my Instagram. Thank you for the support. And thank you for your understanding. And, you know, I got a good feeling about the future. I know it's crazy right now, but I think things are gonna get figured out and good things are coming to each and every one of us. So stay positive, stay optimistic, and good things will happen, okay? We'll check in with you all in the next video. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Peace.